Some sacrifices bear more weight than the heart can hold. Kira felt this truth the night she fought off the thieves for the Lycan King's son. The moon hung heavy, its silvery light casting shadows over the village. Laughter echoed through the streets, bright notes of joy rising into the air, mingling with the smoke from bonfires. The harvest festival pulsed with life, but there was an undercurrent of danger. Kira felt it, a tension that prickled her skin, like electricity before a storm. She stood tall, her leather armor hugging her frame tightly, every detail honed for battle. The slightest movement of her dark hair caught the breeze, framing her fierce emerald eyes. Here, amongst her people, she'd been trained to defend, to protect. After the years of relentless raiding and losses, Kira had learned the hard way that fear could steal everything she loved. Adrenaline spiked in her veins as she surveyed the crowd, searching for threats. Then, chaos exploded. The night fractured as the alarm blared, rising above the revelry. The peace shattered like glass, replaced by shouts that echoed through alleyways and streets, sending the villagers into a frenzy. "Thieves!" someone screamed. Panic flooded the square, laughter quickly replaced by terror. Kira's heart raced, dread pooling in her stomach as she realized why they had come. Rumors whispered on impatient lips, tales of the Lycan King's son attending the festival. The hope of a simple night transformed into a battlefield. She moved against the tide of frantic bodies, readying her sword, her mind focused, heart pounding. In the chaos, she spotted him. Ronan. He stood at the edge of the alleyway, golden eyes wide, taken unprepared by the onslaught. Fear twisted within her. The sight of him vulnerable, outmatched, ignited a fire deep in her core. Instinct roared louder than any voice. Protect him. She pushed through the throng, determined. Each step felt heavy. Thieves surged forward, wielding blades, driven by greed. Kira could feel the atmosphere shift, her senses heightened as danger closed in. She would not let them take him. With each swing of her blade, she felt alive. Adrenaline surged through her, igniting her spirit in the face of despair. The first thief met her wrath, collapsing to the dirt as steel met flesh. She moved through them, each strike fueled by her promise to protect her village. The blood of those who threatened her painted her skin, now a mark of battle and defiance. But it was more than that. Fear coursed through her veins, sharp and biting. Every swing bore the weight of what could be lost, the village's fate hanging by the thinnest thread. If the king's son fell into the wrong hands, the delicate balance that held their lives together would shatter. The stakes had never felt higher. Amid the cacophony, she was aware of Ronan's presence beside her, an anchor even as chaos swirled. "We have to move!" she shouted to him, weaving a path through the mayhem. His survival became as integral as her own. Together, they could survive this night. But could they? She could fight, yes. She wore the scars of battles lost and won. Yet, uncertainty lurked in the corners of her mind. Would her strength be enough? Could they eliminate each threat? Each thief hell-bent on seizing control? There was no time to hesitate. The world around her fell away, consumed by the need to protect. It was just her, the blade in her hand, the furious energy coursing through her veins, igniting a determination that defied the odds. But in the quiet moments between strikes, between breaths, unanswered questions lingered. How far would she go to save him? And at what cost? With their lives entwined in the tempest of chaos, the answer awaited them as they faced the storm together. Ronan had lived within the opulent walls of the palace, sheltered and protected, yet suffocated by the weight of expectation. Tonight felt different. He had slipped away, longing for a taste of the life beyond, a flicker of freedom. The moon cast its silver light over the village festival, a world that sparkled with laughter and joy, beckoning him to experience the pulse of life in a way he never could among the nobles. But as chaos erupted, he realized how unprepared he truly was. The shouts of thieves shattered the jubilant night, driving a dagger of fear into his heart. Panic spread like wildfire. The vibrant festivities disintegrated into a battleground. His gaze settled on Kira, fierce and unyielding. Her dark hair whipped in the wind as she fought with purpose, every movement an emblem of strength. Awe mingled with confusion within him. Why would she risk everything for him, a prince? As Kira dropped a thief to the ground, Ronan felt the intensity of her commitment. She defended the village with such fierce resolve. He was just a figure on the sidelines, wrapped in layers of privilege and duty. Yet, in the eye of the storm, a bond began to form. Their eyes locked, an unspoken understanding passing between them, igniting a connection that transcended the chaos. "We have to keep moving!" Kira shouted, her voice cutting through the air, filled with urgency. They fought side by side, blades clashing against the dark night, each enemy falling beneath their combined strength. The thrill of battle coursed through Ronan's veins, a feeling he had never truly known. In that moment, he was not just the prince, he was a fighter, testing his limits, discovering a side of himself that lay dormant for too long. With every thrust, he felt his power grow alongside Kira's unyielding spirit. She was a force of nature, and together they carved a path through the chaos. Yet doubt crept into his mind. Could he truly protect her? With the weight of his royal identity crashing down, Ronan wondered what lay ahead now that they were caught in the storm together. Amid the fray, a thief lunged at him, blade flashing in the moonlight. Desire to protect Kira surged within him, instinct pushing him forward. But before he could react, Kira was upon him. She deflected the attack with practiced ease, her strength radiating confidence, and the tension in his body eased slightly. "Stay close," she barked, their bond solidifying in the intensity of the fight. "Let's get out of here together," Ronan stated, heart hammering in his chest, fear mixing with admiration. He felt her fierce determination merge with his own as they danced through danger, each step taken together. But even as they emerged victorious from the frenzy, shadows of uncertainty loomed large. The world had shifted, for both of them. They could no longer return to the lives they'd known. In the aftermath of the battle, silence enveloped them, pulsing with unacknowledged truths. "I can't believe we survived this," Kira said, her voice trembling slightly, eyes darting around the remnants of the carnage left behind. Ronan stepped closer, catching her gaze. "You were incredible," he offered, genuine awe in his tone. "You fought for me, for all of them." Kira shook her head, her warrior spirit unresolved despite the exhilaration of survival. "We fought for each other. This night has changed everything." They stood on the precipice of an unknown future, breathless under the shimmering moonlight. Something shifted between them, the air charged with unspoken words. "What are we now?" Ronan asked, the vulnerability in his voice cracking through the heavy silence. "Maybe two souls caught in a storm?" Kira suggested, a hint of uncertainty weaving through her bravado. "Then let's embrace it," he said, heart pounding, feeling the tug of the bond they had forged amid chaos. But even as they stared into each other's eyes, something pulled at the edges of their connection, a reminder that the path ahead would be fraught with challenges. Would they find a way to navigate the storm together, or would circumstances rip them apart? The night was just beginning, and the true battle awaited them. The aftermath of the battle left a somber stillness in the air, but adrenaline still coursed through Ronan's veins. Every breath felt heavy, thick with uncertainty. The moonlight shone like a beacon, illuminating the chaos they had survived, but also the shadows of what lay ahead. Kira glanced around the village square, her sharp instincts still on high alert. "We need to move. They may come back," she urged, urgency flaring in her voice. Ronan nodded, heart racing. Where do we go? He could feel the weight of the night pressing upon him, darker than the shadows stretching across the ground. "Follow me," she said, already turning toward the narrow alleyways, her movements fluid and confident. They slipped into the shadows, the remnants of panic still hanging in the air. Each step brought them closer to safety, but heightened the tension that crackled between them. Ronan struggled to catch his breath amidst the whirlwind of thoughts. "Kira," he called softly as they dashed down a twisting alley. "What happens now? We fought together and I've never felt anything like it." She paused, turning to meet his gaze, emerald eyes sparking with intensity. "The bond we forged tonight is rare. It's not just about surviving the thieves. It's about what we've awakened in each other. But we must remain cautious." He felt a rush of warmth at her words, a fleeting connection that ignited hope within him. "What does that mean for us?" Kira hardened her gaze, glancing over her shoulder, wariness evident. It means we need to figure out how to navigate this. Your life in the palace is one of privilege. I'm not sure if that world can understand what's happening here. Ronan's chest tightened. But I want to understand. I want to be part of this world. With you. The flicker of vulnerability in her gaze momentarily broke through her fierce exterior. You can't just walk away from what you've always known, she said softly. There are expectations, and you're a prince. I'm also a man, he replied, frustration threading through his words. I was suffocated by the crown long before tonight. Being Ronan should not be defined by my title. As they navigated the dark alleys, urgent whispers brushed past them, the tales of villagers, the uncertainty rippling through the air. Ronan could see the weight of the world on their shoulders. What would his father say? What would become of Kira, of them both when dawn broke? The urgency of their escape brought them to the edge of the woods bordering the village. Shadows melded into one, dark and inviting. We need to hide until it's safe, Kira declared, veering into the thicket. They slipped between trees, the dense foliage enveloping them like a protective shroud. The rustling of branches faded, and for a breath, they were cocooned in silence. How do you know I won't betray you? That I won't go back to my life? Ronan whispered, breathless as they crouched beneath the canopy. Because, Kira said, her voice steady, you've already shown that you're willing to fight. For me, for them. You can't fake that kind of connection. Ronan searched her eyes, felt the unspoken bond between them strengthen. I don't want to let you down, he admitted, the weight of honesty heavy in the cool air. But I don't know what to do. Kira reached out, grounding him. Then take it one step at a time. We're in this together. The connection between them pulsed with electricity, and a soft confidence filled the space as they leaned closer. Do you trust me? Kira asked, a challenge sparking in her gaze. I do, Ronan replied without hesitation. It was simple yet profound. It bound them to this moment, to each other. Then she lingered a breath away, the air crackling around them, hesitation dancing at the edges. What if this doesn't work out? What if the world pulls us apart? Then we will fight it, he asserted. I swear it. But as he spoke, doubt flickered in the back of his mind, a stubborn whisper that wouldn't quiet. The dangers were still lurking, unseen shadows that blended with the darkness. They had made it this far, but what lay ahead? Suddenly, the sound of rustling branches startled them. They tensed, hearts racing once more. Is it them? Ronan whispered, voice barely above a breath. Kira's body went rigid. Stay quiet. They held their breath, eyes straining to pierce the dark. Every rustle became a threat, every shadow a potential enemy. As the noise grew louder, two figures emerged, dimly illuminated by the moon. Ronan's heart sank. Men he recognized from the palace. Kira! One of them shouted, urgency laced with fear. We were looking everywhere for you. What are you doing here? She snapped, stepping forward, protectiveness surging again. We heard about the attack. The king sent us to find you. The man's gaze flicked toward Ronan, incredulity etched on his face. And the prince? Ronan stepped forward, tension thrumming in the air. I'm still me, he declared, determination rising. You can't take her. We fought together, and I won't abandon her. Kira turned toward him, understanding flaring in her eyes. You're risking everything, she whispered, but pride glimmered within her gaze. No, the man interjected, urgency climbing. You don't understand. It's not safe here. We have to leave now, together. Ronan caught Kira's gaze over the distance, two worlds colliding in that moment. The path ahead remained uncertain, the storm still brewing, but a fire had ignited between them, a connection tethered by choice as they stood at the precipice of destiny. Could they face what lay ahead, together? The tension in the air was thick, the guarded expressions of the palace guards confirming Kira's worst fears. We have to leave now, one man urged, glancing nervously over his shoulder. Leave? Kira shot back, defiance rising within her. You could have left me there. You don't belong here. Ronan stepped closer to her, the fire in her voice stirring something deep within him. I'm with her, he insisted, his tone clear. The guards looked at him as if he had lost his mind. I won't go back to the palace without her, he added resolutely. You don't know what you're saying. The king will have your head if you're caught, the guard countered, his voice tense with urgency. We have to go before the thieves come back. This isn't a game. Kira felt the weight of the evening pressing upon her. Alone, she was a fierce warrior, but the stakes were higher now. If Ronan goes, I go too. You're not leaving him behind, she decreed, stubbornness igniting her spirit. Ronan turned to her, heart racing, admiration flooding through him. I don't expect you to risk everything for me, he said softly, their eyes locked. But I want you with me. The guards were exchanging worried glances. We don't have time for debates, one hissed, urgency coating every word. Come with us now. Kira felt torn, yearning for the safety of her village but equally for Ronan's side. What happens next? She pushed back, her voice steady yet probing. What will the king do when he finds out? Nothing good, the other guard admitted, worry creasing his brow. But you'll be blamed for this attack initially, and he'll think you're responsible for the prince's disappearance. Ronan felt a wave of injustice. That's not fair, he exclaimed, fists clenched at his sides. I am making this choice willingly. I came out here for a reason. Then let's make it count, Kira insisted, a newfound spark igniting her spirit. We can't just leave the village unprotected. The threat is still out there. Are you sure? Ronan queried, concern for her safety creeping into his voice. I'm sure, she stated firmly, heart racing with conviction. It will be worth it. Fine. One guard relented, glancing at the other. But we need a plan. We can't do this carelessly. Kira anchored herself in the present, determination flooding through her as they drew together. Let's move to the safe house in the woods, where the villages gather during a crisis, she proposed, ideas sparking like flint. We'll regroup there and assess our options. The guards nodded, acknowledging the gravity of her suggestion. Ronan felt the weight of her resolve settle in his chest. She was a true leader. Together they slipped through the trees, moving stealthily, hearts pounding in unison. The woods, once familiar, felt foreign now. Each crackle of leaves stirred tension, every whisper of wind told tales of danger. As they pressed deeper into the shadows of the forest, flashes of Ronan's life before tonight haunted him. Banquets, expectations, and the constraints of royal duty. He had always felt different, disconnected from the crown's allure. But with Kira beside him, he yearned for a life forged in moments like this, wild, uncertain, and unapologetically real. They moved in a cluster, eyes wide, alert. The silence of the forest was only punctuated by their hurried breath. Kira took the lead while Ronan remained close behind, heart racing with each step. The darkness wrapped around them like a heavy cloak, absorbing sound and light. Over there, Kira whispered, pointing to a small clearing up ahead, hidden by dense underbrush. That's where we'll set up. The group gathered in the relative safety of the clearing, tension easing slightly for a moment. Ronan looked around at familiar faces, the guards from the palace who had become his protectors. He might have played the part of the pampered prince in the palace, but out here, he felt more alive than ever. Now what? Ronan asked, glancing toward Kira, needing her insight. Now, we assess our options. Kira exhaled, her eyes piercing. First, we need to send a warning to the village. We must alert everyone that they could be in danger. The guards nodded, agreeing but casting wary looks at Ronan. You realize how foolish that would be? You'd expose yourself to the king, one guard cautioned. If I'm going to make this right, I can't hide away forever, Ronan interjected, frustration lining his voice. Our families need to know. They deserve a chance to defend themselves. Kira stepped closer, voice low but fierce. You're right, Ronan. We need to prepare the village. The thieves will strike again and we can't let this slide. All right then, the guard relented. I'll send a message. A runner will reach the village in the morning before the sun rises. He hurried off, not wanting to linger in the woods longer than necessary. Kira turned to Ronan, urgency flickering in her gaze. We can't forget about the danger that comes next. Your father won't just sit idle. He'll send more men to find you, and they won't stop until they do. I'll protect you, Ronan promised, determination surging through him. Then we prepare, Kira said, her voice unwavering. We need to make a plan. Think ahead. Minutes bled into hours as they formulated strategies, watching, waiting, readying themselves for a confrontation. Kira was meticulous while Ronan contributed ideas, their energies fueling each other. That raw connection sparked something deep in his chest, and he leaned closer as they worked. "Do you think the thieves will strike again?" he asked, glancing toward her with curiosity. "Not unless they want to court death," Kira replied, strength radiating. "The village is prepared for an assault now. They won't stand alone." She paused, focusing on him intently. "But should they come for you again? We'll need to stand firm." Ronan nodded, feeling the weight of their situation. "With you, I could face anything." Kira smiled, warmth enveloping the chill of the night. But the underlying sense of foreboding lingered. What would happen when dawn broke? The next day's uncertainty was a specter they all feared. As the hours passed, Ronan felt the pull of exhaustion, but when he glanced at Kira, her eyes fierce and unwavering, it filled him with resolve. They were entangled in this whirlwind together. No matter the danger ahead, they would face it united, a bond unshakable in the face of the coming storm. But as shadows danced under shifting leaves, whispers of doubt loomed nearby. Would their resolve withstand the trials yet to come? Or would fate tear them apart? The night weighed heavily on Kira and Ronan, the tension coiling tighter with every passing hour. The shadows bled into one another, creating a shroud of anticipation. Ronan struggled to keep his focus as thoughts of what might come danced in his mind: his father's wrath, the thieves' return, and the uncertain fate of their bond. Kira kept pacing, her instincts fired and alert. "We'll need to set up patrols around the clearing," she declared, brow furrowed deep in thought. "If the thieves return, we have to be ready. I won't let them take you, Ronan." Her fierce commitment sparked something inside him, igniting an unwavering hope. "I won't leave you either," he replied, voice steady. "That's a promise." The sound of rustling broke through their conversation, piercing their focus. Ronan turned sharply, heart racing. Was it the guards returning? The encroaching shadows twisted the sound into something sinister. "Kira, listen." But it was Marcus, one of the guards, his face pale and strained as he emerged from the darkness. "There's been an attack on the village," he gasped, breathless. "What?" Kira exclaimed, the command in her voice echoing through the trees as her steely resolve sparked back to life. "They came looking for you, targeting the ones who offered shelter. They're organizing more attacks." "We have to go!" Panic surged like wildfire within Ronan, dread coiling around his heart. "We can't just abandon them," he shouted, desperation creeping in. Marcus shook his head. "We don't have a choice. We need to regroup in the safe house. It's the only way." Kira stepped forward, her voice low but insistent. "I'll go back to the village. I can lead the fight. We'll rally the others." Ronan felt a lurch in his stomach. "You can't! What if something happens?" "I'll take the guards with me," Kira insisted, eyes blazing. "They'll help. We can fortify our defenses." Ronan's heart raced, torn between fear and admiration. "But you can't do it alone. I'm coming with you," Marcus interjected sharply. "You can't. The king has sent word. If he finds you there, it will only make things worse." Frustration festered in Ronan's chest. "What about my people? They're my responsibility. And you think returning with a prince will save them?" Kira shot back, voice piercing through the tension. "You're the target. They'll hunt you. We need to protect you both." "I can't just sit back," Ronan argued, fists clenched tightly. Kira stepped closer, voice softening. "This isn't about you being a prince. This is about survival. Survival for everyone." The gravity of her words cut through him. "You're right," he conceded, voice thick with emotion. "But I can't let you fight this alone. Tell me what to do, and I'll follow." For a moment, their fierce eye contact grounded them, igniting the bond they had forged. "All right," Kira finally said, the fight returning to her tone. "We move now. We plan our responses, and we fight together." Ronan took a breath, calming himself. "That's a plan I can support." They gathered the remaining guards, urgency seeping into every exchanged glance. "We're heading back," Kira asserted, voice firm. "We need to warn the village and prepare everyone." Marcus nodded, his initial shock giving way to action. "Right. Let's make it fast. We'll split up into smaller groups, Keep the noise down. The shadows that had enveloped them transformed into allies as they split into their respective paths. Kira and Ronan moved swiftly, their hearts beating in sync as they retraced their steps, adrenaline heightening their senses. As they neared the village, whispers of chaos floated through the air. The once joyous gathering had waned into fear and murmuring, shadows lurking where laughter used to reside. Kira pushed through the entrance. "Gather everyone!" she shouted, voice ringing with authority. "We need to fortify our defenses now. The thieves will strike again." Ronan felt the weight of the eyes upon them, fear, longing, trust, all swirling in an unseen storm. He took a deep breath. "Listen to Kira," he urged, stepping forward with confidence. "We fought before and we will fight again. Together. We need to protect each other." The villagers nodded, hands tightening into fists. The unity in their resolve ignited something powerful within him. They weren't just fighting for survival. They were fighting for their home, their lives intertwined in purpose. Kira delineated a plan, her voice steady despite the tension wrapped around them. "We'll set up a perimeter, post guards at key points. No one fights alone. We'll do this as a village. Take up arms. We will not let them take our home," Ronan shouted, impassioned. Urgency filled the air, energy surging as villagers rallied, grabbing weapons, hastily fortifying the defenses. He felt Kira's presence beside him, and for a moment their hands brushed together. "Stay close," she whispered, and the words stirred a flame of protectiveness within him. "We can't lose each other." "Never," he promised, feeling the undeniable bond between them, something deeper than just survival. As the moon hung low in the sky, tension thrummed in the air, and silence wrapped around them like a shroud, until it shattered under the weight of impending battle. In the distance, they heard a commotion. Willing themselves through the chaos, the villagers stood shoulder to shoulder, Ronan and Kira among them, a force to be reckoned with. Then, from the shadows, the thieves emerged. Their dark figures spilled into the light, eager for a fight, hearts pounding with wild intentions. Ronan's breath quickened, instincts racing. "Stand firm," Kira shouted, voice echoing among the ranks. "We defend what is ours." Clashing steel met flesh as the first blows were exchanged. Ronan's heart pounded in a relentless rhythm, echoing the promise made. The bond forged anew in danger. They were no longer mere participants. They were warriors fighting for their families, their home. Together, as they faced the night ahead, the real battle began. Would they find the strength in each other to overcome the storm that threatened to tear them apart? The sound of battle filled the night air. Clashing steel, shouts of desperation, and the visceral cries of determination. Ronan stood shoulder to shoulder with Kira as they faced the thrumming tide of thieves, their intentions clear in their wild eyes. "Together!" Kira shouted, blade glinting under the moonlight, a fierce warrior fueled by purpose. Ronan could feel her energy radiate, anchoring him as he wielded his sword with newfound strength. The villagers surged forward, emboldened by their sense of unity. "Protect each other!" Ronan roared, lunging at the nearest assailant, adrenaline racing within him. With each clash of weapons, each startled gasp, he fought not just for survival but for the promise they had made, to stand strong together. Kira was a whirlwind at his side, agile and fierce, cutting through the chaos. He watched as she moved with precision, her instincts guiding her like a skilled predator. She was unstoppable. Fueled by the fire they had ignited between them, she fought with ferocity, defending their people as though each life depended on her. "Keep pushing them back!" she yelled, spurring the villagers forward. The grunts of their enemies echoed through the chaos, a symphony of struggle in the night. But the thieves were relentless. Just as hope surged through the villagers, waves of attackers bore down on them. Ronan felt his breath grow ragged as fatigue began creeping in, threatening to steal his resolve. But Kira was there, her gaze fierce, pooling energy into his weary spirit. Suddenly, a figure broke through the throng, larger than the others. Ronan's stomach dropped as he recognized the scarred cheek and glint of malevolence in the man's eyes. The leader of the thieves had come, a cruel smile twisting his lips as he caught sight of them. "Where's the prince?" he growled, eyeing Ronan with disdain. "There you are, hiding among the rabble. Ronan gritted his teeth, heart racing at the threat. He couldn't let the man tear them apart. Not now. Not after everything they had fought for. "I'm right here," Ronan shouted, stepping forward, sword raised high, every ounce of courage summoning as he confronted the enemy. "You'll not take anything from us." With a roar, the thief lunged, the world narrowing to a single point as Ronan parried the blow. Metal clashed, anger and fear driving them both as each strike sent adrenaline coursing through him. Kira's voice echoed beside him, a fierce presence even in the turbulence, urging him on. "You can do this! You're stronger than he is." Ronan felt it. Her belief in him was a fire igniting his core, and with every swing, he pushed the thief back, focusing on their lethal dance. This was not just survival. This was a reckoning. As the clash continued, the surrounding battle faded into a blur. Ronan narrowly dodged another swing, the energy between him and Kira pulsing like a heartbeat, echoing in the air around them. Together, they were fighting for the future they could carve, a future entwined like their lives. "Now!" Kira shouted, stepping into the fray beside him as they took the initiative, refusing to yield. With one final push, Ronan's blade found its mark, a swift strike that sent the leader stumbling back. He felt Kira's spirit guiding his hand, felt the bond they had forged strengthen with every determined blow until finally the man fell to the ground in defeat. For a moment, silence enveloped them. The chaos of battle ebbed as villagers began standing tall, fortified by unity. "Victory!" Ronan gasped, breathless and overwhelmed. But the fight wasn't over yet. Shadows still danced at the edges, the thieves' resolve faltering, yet not broken. But now, victory spread through the villagers, the tide turning. They pressed forward, ready to defend their home. The remaining thieves hesitated as their leaders' cries fell silent, fear filling their hearts as the villagers rallied, emboldened by their triumph. "Push them out!" Kira urged, and Ronan found himself swept up in a tide of solidarity, every warrior fighting for something more than themselves. With renewed vigor, the villagers surged forward, forcing the thieves toward the edge of the woods, determined to reclaim their land, their home. Fists gripped weapons, hearts surged with unshakable conviction, and together they stood defiant against the darkness. As dawn light broke through the trees, a fragile peace began to settle like fog over the aftermath of chaos. Bloodied but unbowed, Ronan and Kira stood side by side among their people, breathing heavily, gazing at the horizon ahead. "We did it," Ronan murmured, awe filling his voice as he glanced at Kira, who stood resolute, her spirit unbroken. Kira turned to him, an unspoken understanding passing between them. They had fought through the darkest of nights, and here they stood, two souls intertwined against the storm. Yes, we did. Together. In that moment, the world felt anew, bound by hope, united by love, and ready to face whatever the dawn had to offer. As they turned to their people, the first rays of sunlight spilling warmth over the destruction, they found strength among the rubble. Together, they could rebuild. Together, they were unbreakable. And as the whispers of the past flickered like shadows, they stepped forward into the future, a testament to what they had endured, a bond that would withstand the tests of time. This is how they would endure, together, forever.